But I don't. That doesn't make me go against Israel, because I just know that's natural. Every group has that. Every group,
Yeah,
if you support them for a while, but you criticize them, they think you betrayed them. Not all of them, but there's a small minority in every
hmm
group that always will react like that. So all that Charlie was doing was noted, because Charlie supported Israel, but he didn't support everything the government of Israel
right.
does, and
Which is
sometimes he
normal,
was
by the
criticized.
way.
Normal,
Yeah, we
yeah,
know that
that's normal.
governments all the time act in ways that we
Yes,
don't agree with, that we find unethical, so it's completely normal. What you're describing is attempted
yeah,
audience capture, right?
right,
Audiences will try to get you to move more and more in one way on an issue, which is
yeah,
normal, but it is up to the creator who is honest and has integrity
mm,
to speak their mind and remain true to themselves. And I think
yeah.
Charlie did remain true to himself.
Yes. And Charlie was not turning against Israel. He was just noticing how ridiculous it is that when he criticizes or questions anything, they will call him an
Mhm.
anti Semite. And he was frustrated with that, but he was not turning against Israel. So that was
Mhm.
ridiculous. So going back to now your point regarding political violence, people will ask you, at this point, you say, why are you making it seem that this is a leftist issue? Data shows that political violence comes mostly from the right. So how would you respond to that if they
I
say that?
believe, I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think there was a recent study that showed it is moving left. However, if we just look at the major assassination cases of the last year and a half, it's
Mhm.
obvious, that it is from one side attacking another, and that, who in the political spectrum is celebrating this. I don't see
Mm,
Republicans or conservatives celebrating this. And this is not to say that everyone on the left loves political violence. Obviously not. But this has become an increasing issue because of radicalization. And I'm not saying that the political right could never start committing political violence like this as well. But
mhm,
sometimes these things move in waves. Like, I believe it was the 60s when we saw a huge wave of left wing political violence. It's important to track this because it's important to track trends within movements. And I do believe there is a small part of the internet that convinces people to go out there and commit acts of violence in support of their ideas. And we have to
mm,
we have to figure out where that is. We have to figure out where these radicalization chambers are located so that we can stop it.
mm. Yeah. So I mean, we have been anti woke left and the woke right on this channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not. I wouldn't. We have had a lot of problems with some crazy elements on the right on this channel many times. So we're not going to shy away. Like people think like, oh, you're going to deny that it's the right leaning people also commit violence. Like, no, no, we
They
don't. Like we
absolutely
go
do.
after them.
Yeah.
They absolutely. And yeah, and honestly, the way I look at maybe I don't know if this is correct or not, but it seems like if we're counting total numbers of political violence, just in total number, not measuring the significance, just the total number, it is true that the right leaning, there's more right leaning political violence, but the celebration of political violence seems to be more on the left. So it's just the wider, not the individuals who are committing the violence, but the larger population just seems to be like, even if we have more political violence on the right, most people on the right will not celebrate that. But the number of people on the
Mhm.
left who celebrate the political violence seems to be much bigger than compared to the right. Does that make it? Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Potentially. I mean,
Yeah.
when we're talking about data, it's important to know what's being measured over what period of time. And I don't have any official data in front of me, but three assassinations or assassination attempts come to mind of the past year and a half. And I think there is a trend here because the reaction to the violence, I think, creates an environment where more violence can occur. Am I saying those people are responsible for the political violence occurring? No, I'm just saying this environment breeds people that think that it's acceptable. Um, and frankly, the reaction to Charlie Kirk's death, I mean, I know people that celebrated. I know
I
them
know too.
personally from my life, and I'm not very old. I don't know that many people, right? But I know people who
Mm,
celebrated it, and it was so disturbing because it's not like they're totally off the deep end, right?
yeah.
So it's something I've been struggling with a lot as a commentator, as someone who works in this field. Not that I am anywhere near the level of Charlie Kirk, right? I hope one day to have even a fraction of his impact, because he really did have so much impact on young Americans. Um,
Mm,
but it's scary for me because if they would celebrate him being murdered, how would they feel about me? If they had no
mm,
relationship to me, if I was just some random abstracted version of myself, I had the same personality, I had all the same opinions, and I didn't have that relationship with them, how would they feel? And
mm.
since thinking about it like that, it's been very difficult not to personalize this issue. And I think a lot of people are feeling the exact same way that I feel right now. Um, and it is causing a really big reaction on the right. Now, what is an acceptable reaction to this? I think there can be a discussion there.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually made a peace with the fact that if I died today, the number of people celebrating that is more than the number of people who would be sad about that. I am like, that's something that I have to accept with the life decisions that I've made. Um, but it is what it is. Um, I mean, honestly, if you don't have anybody hating you, then what are you doing? Right? Like you, but
Fair enough. But it's a
yeah,
line, right? It's a
yeah,
line that I think should not be crossed. I think it's unacceptable in civil discourse, you know. I
right.
don't think it's an acceptable opinion to hold. And part of this whole marketplace of ideas is that in the discourse, we do decide through participation and through discussing with each other and through talking, we do label some beliefs as like unacceptable positions to hold, right? And I think wishing for the death of your political enemy is an
Right.
unacceptable position to hold.
Right. Okay. We got a super chat that I think is very nice because it's addressing you. Drew is saying to me, "I'm so glad you have a nice Catholic on who isn't spewing lies like Candace Owens about Charlie converting and changing on Israel." Oh yeah. By the way, Candace was actually suggesting that he was about to become Catholic as well. I don't know if you saw that.
I
So,
saw that speculation all over the place. Just having been around TPUSA events, I highly doubt that Charlie Kirk was ever going to convert Catholic. He was wearing, I believe, a St. Michael's necklace. But I think
mhm,
I think it's more normal in American culture for there to be more interaction between Protestants and
mm.
Catholics, although, um, you know, there is some tension there, especially when you go to European countries.
Yeah. What do you think we can do about it? Like it's if we come here and say, "Oh, guys, political violence bad, it's bad. Okay, we shouldn't want. That's not a good position to have." Does that do anything? Like, I mean, if people, the amount of celebration I saw,
Mhm.
like, I don't think these are the type of people that we could make podcasts and shows and come around and just call it out as evil. I mean, what does that do? Like, is there no, that doesn't do much to these people. Are sometimes I feel like they seem too far gone. Is there anything we
Yeah.